Well, hello again. It's still Lisa, still trying to kick the sleeping pill habit. Tonight is my seventh night. Still have not slept one night. It's becoming quite the nightmare. I've been up all night till I finally crash in bed, and I've tried to go to bed at about 5:30 in the morning. 7 in the morning seems to be my time when my body just gives up and says, "You gotta sleep." So I'm usually up all night, and I usually fall asleep around 7 a.m. And so far each day I've slept for about 2.5 to 3 hours. So how a woman my age exists on a 24-hour period with 3 hours sleep is really quite a miracle. One of the young guys I work with said, "You sure have a lot of energy." And I said, "Yeah, I'm like the Energizer Bunny. I have the mind of a young girl trapped in the body of an older lady." I'm not sure how I'm ever going to remedy this. If ever there was a time where you could have a time machine and go back in time, I would appreciate that. And also, I would definitely go back and tell myself, don't take Ambien. No, no, and no. I'm not a drinker. I have a history of a couple alcoholics in my family, so for that reason, I've never been much of a drinker. Um, I could understand why somebody might drink to put themselves to sleep. That doesn't even seem to work for me, and apparently it's not a good idea anyhow. As we all know, alcohol is a respiratory depressant, so I'm not going to go play that game. So, anyhow, let me tell you a little bit about me and the beginnings of Ambien. I think I started taking it about somewhere between 8 and 9 years ago. I'm not even sure. I don't even remember why I started taking it, why the doctor prescribed it. But after a year or two, she said, "This is a short term medication. You should not keep taking this." And she kept trying to tell me, "Stop taking it, stop taking it." And I said, "No." I'm also a very persuasive person, so I have this habit of maybe making people do what I want to do. So she tried and tried. Probably every time I visited with her, she's like, "Stop taking, it's not good for you, it's addictive." Well, that's driving me crazy. Anyhow, I kept taking this Ambien, and so finally, I think I was taking probably 10 milligrams, and she said, "Okay, I'll prescribe this for you, but you're only going to take 5 milligrams." I said, "Okay." So what happened is, I think we switched to a different manufacturer, and they were pills that they were scored, so they were easy to break. So I said, "Why don't you just keep prescribing me the 10 milligram? I will break them in half, and then I'll take only 5 milligram, but then I only have to get a prescription every 2 months instead of every 1 month. So save money." In retrospect, that wasn't a great plan either. Anyhow, I did cut back to 5 milligrams, I think, but I don't know. I think for a while there it was working for me. Um, I don't know why I kept taking it. I just never went to sleep on my own. And again, I have a pretty strong personality. I'm starting to think maybe a little bit of an addictive personality. Anyhow, about 5 years ago, I got a divorce. So even though my dingbat ex-husband worked nights, so I was sleeping alone anyhow. That probably had something to do with why I needed a sleeping pill. Like I said, about 5 years ago, I got a divorce, so I was sleeping alone all the time anyhow. So I don't know. I sleep like the dead. I lay where I lay, and the other half of the covers on the bed are never even moved or ruffled. It's like you only have to make half the bed in the morning because the other side, those covers don't move. So clearly, I don't move a lot in my sleep. Um, so at some point, I moved to Thailand for about 6 months, which was a delight, by the way. If you ever get the opportunity, I highly recommend you go to Thailand. Beautiful there. Anyhow, when I got to Thailand, I no longer I ran out of sleeping pills. So there, you go see doctors in hospitals, and it costs like $8 to see a doctor, and the prescriptions are quite inexpensive as well. I don't know. I may have paid, I don't know, $12 for the medication. Um, Anyhow, I saw a doctor there, and he said, he asked me all these questions. "What can I help you with?" And I said, "Nothing. I just need a prescription for the Ambien, and he kept saying, do you have this problem? Do you have that problem? Do you have this? And I said, no, there's nothing wrong with me other than I don't sleep. So, we chit chatted about life in America and life in Thailand, and he gave me my prescription, and I was on my merry little way. So, after, the first 30 days, I guess I ran out of the pills, and I said, I'm going to take this time to try and stop taking the sleeping medication. I have nothing to do all day. I can sleep in. Makes no difference. I wasn't working. I was just hanging out. So I tried. I lived in this darling condo that had glass windows all throughout the bedroom and the living room, but it had very nice darkening curtains, which I closed at night. And I tried to go to sleep to no avail. I was up all night long. And I thought, wow, this is really a nuisance. And so I did that for the first 3 nights, and I went, oh my God, I can't sleep. It was a nightmare. So I was up all night long, and then I think I finally fell asleep, maybe at about 6 in the morning, maybe about 8 in the morning. And then I slept during the day for about maybe 6 hours. And then I did that for 5 nights in a row. I went, this is screwed. I said, I can't do this anymore. Forget it. So I went back to taking the Ambien. And I enjoyed the rest of my time in Thailand. Beautiful, beautiful place. Again, highly recommend if you can go there. I traveled to a couple of the different islands. And the thing about Thailand, you can get all sorts of things there, as you can only imagine. Anyhow, they will sell you, when you're on with some of the islands, you can go to pharmacies, which are in little shacks. They're like mini marts, kind of like little stores on the beach. I was in a couple different islands, and you go to this little store where you could buy blow-up rafts or Slurpee or whatever. And then there's a little sliding door to the back is a pharmacy. And I told them, I just need some sleeping pills, some Ambien. Oh, sure. And they sold me the Ambien right then and there. It's a good thing I'm not like an addict or to other things. I mean, they sell Ativan, they sell Xanax, they sold a little bit of everything. I said, I only need Ambien to sleep. That's all I'm after. Anyhow, so I bought it in Thailand, and I just kept taking it, and I was fine. Anyhow, after about 5 months, I moved back home to Washington, and I said, well, I need to sleep, and I had not kicked my habit in Thailand, even though I tried and tried. So I went to the CHC, otherwise known as Community Health Center, and I told them, I just need sleeping pills. I don't have any medical problems, really. I don't need any help with anything. I just need to sleep. So they prescribed the pills, and then there you have to go back every 30 days in order for them to prescribe the medication again. So I had to go see a doctor every 30 days, and they're like, okay, what do you need help with? Nothing. I just need you to refill my Ambien prescription. And that's what we did. Then it got a little more difficult because as a nurse, I worked 12-hour shifts. And this pharmacy is only open like 8:30 to 5. And I worked from 6 a.m. till 6:30. So most days I couldn't go. Or if I wanted to go, if I took a break to go pick them up, they're closed from like 12:30 to 1:45. So it was really hard to get this prescription filled. Once in a blue moon, I ran out of the pills, and I thought, oh, shit, I'm never going to sleep tonight. I resolved myself knowing if I didn't have a pill, I wouldn't go to sleep. So I have one friend who lives a couple miles away, and I said, oh, yoo-hoo. I said, could I borrow one of your sleeping pills? And when I get my prescription, I'll give you one back. It was like bartering for Ambien. And then I had another girlfriend who lived a couple blocks away. This was even before I ever went to Thailand. And I said, oh, yoo-hoo. I said, can I borrow a sleeping pill? And she says, yeah, come over. I'll put it in a baggie. So I sent my son. How's that for impressive? I sent my 16, 17-year-old son who drove at the time. And I said, go over to her house and get a little baggie. It has something in it. Anyhow, this is what happens. Is this how you become an addict and you don't even realize? Where you send your son to go pick up a baggie with a pill in it? I never, ever, ever thought of myself as any person who might be addicted to anything, but looking back in time, I could see where the trouble may have started. Anyhow, I always returned that one pill that I borrowed back to the 2 gals that I borrowed them from. Anyhow, so that's become an issue the last couple of years or two, trying to get the prescription because I didn't have time to go get to the pharmacy, or I don't know, it was a holiday, and if you call it in before 30 days in advance, they won't fill it because, it is a narcotic. They don't want you to have too many. So it's been a freaking nightmare. When I run out of them, I'm just like, oh, well, no sleep for Lisa tonight. And like I said, I really don't drink much, so I didn't drink. And melatonin, I've tried melatonin a couple times. It's useless. It did nothing, so that was not an alternative for me. Since I have been trying to kick this sleeping pill habit, I have had many suggestions by friends. Obviously, melatonin is one of them. I've been doing some research. I don't want to take trazodone, which is what we give patients to go to sleep. I just don't want to substitute for another pill. That's all there is to it. You could take Vistaril or Benadryl or something like that to relax you, which is what they give people to go to sleep in the hospitals. But I have a reaction to many medications. I get nauseated very easily. So I don't want any of those things. I don't like to take them. Anyhow, so that's been my trouble. I really can't find a substitute. A couple friends told me, try an elixir, try spraying the pillowcases, try a hot bath. I don't like to take a hot bath because I don't like to take baths. But she said hot showers are a good idea. It's so hard. Old habits are hard to change. I take showers in the morning. So she says, take a nice hot shower at night to relax yourself. And I immediately put up my guard and said, oh no, I shower in the morning. Well, don't be an idiot. It's time to try and make some changes. So now I'm going to start trying to take a nice hot shower at night. Even if I have to take 2 a day, who cares? I got to do some things. And they talked about some binaural beats. So that's some music I'm going to play that kind of helps calm you. Really anything at this point. They talked about some meditation, and oh gosh, I worked with a counselor years ago about meditation. I used to be claustrophobic, and she said try and meditate. My mind never stops. That's the problem. I'll be meditating or trying to meditate, and then I'll be thinking, did I pay that bill? Okay, be quiet, still your mind. Wait, did I call that person I needed to call? Meditate, and then I thought, wait a minute, did I turn the oven off? It's just like my mind never stops. So that's part of the problem getting off the sleeping pill. My mind never stops, so I don't relax. My eyes are telling me lately, shut up and close your eyes and go to sleep. But this mind of mine just perseverates and keeps going. So anyhow, I'm going to try all these things and see if it helps. Like I said, tonight is night 7. I have freaking decided I have to get some sleep. This just cannot continue. I don't know how long it's going to take. So I talked to a dear friend of mine today who is a psych provider, and I told him, I said, I now have not slept for 6 days. What do you suggest? And he said, probably shouldn't have gone cold turkey. You probably should have tapered off that meds. So he says, taking out a half of a dose. And I thought, oh my God, I've gone 6 nights without it. Haven't wanted it at all. And so I'm reluctant to take this half of a pill now. But he goes, you're having a rebound insomnia, and clearly I'm not falling asleep whatsoever. So, I don't know, tonight I might take a half of a pill against my better judgment. But my body's telling me, something's got to give here. Anyhow, so that's kind of what's happening with me this week. I don't even know what else I was going to tell you. Again, I'm awake, but I'm not really awake. I do notice, and maybe you guys have this problem if you're all having trouble sleeping as well. I can't go to sleep without noise. I think I've watched TV probably for the last 30 years at night. I'm one of these people, I cannot just go to bed and lay down and fall asleep. It never, ever happens. Like, never. I've always fallen asleep to the TV. Lately, last couple of years, I watched TV here in the living room. Big mistake. I bought a 70-inch screen TV about 2 months ago. While it's wonderful in the daytime, it's not so good to have 70 inches illuminated at night. That does not help relax. All the electronic stimulation doesn't help me relax. So I'm trying hard, not hard enough, but I'm trying hard to not watch this huge ass TV and just to read. And I find myself reading and going like this and falling asleep. And then I let it keep happening. And then I get up and I walk to bed. And by the time I'm walking from the living room to the bedroom, I start to wake up. Not a good idea. And sometimes it happens in the middle of the night when I am asleep and I get up to go to the bathroom. Because let's face it, what woman over the age of 40 doesn't get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom? Or wake up at 4:30 in general. Anyhow, I wake up and I go to the bathroom and then I get back to bed, and then half the time I'm awake. So I turn the TV on in the bedroom. Yes, I have a TV in there as well. And I think, oh, I'm just going to listen to that. I'll put my head to the side and I'll go to sleep. And then the noise is on. I have to turn off like the Real Housewives of Orange County or New York because those screeching voices wake me up. So I have to put on like Ellen DeGeneres. I record her show daily, and something about her voice relaxes me. So sometimes I go back to sleep if I'm listening to her. I've also learned about some nice deep breathing, where if you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom and you want to go back to sleep, do some nice deep breathing where you breathe in for 7, hold it for 4, and blow out for 8. Sometimes I can't even hold my breath that long, but anyhow, that helps, and that slows down your heart rate and allows you to go back to sleep. So I'm kind of working on that a little bit. Just a thought for somebody if you're having trouble going back to sleep if you get up in the middle of the night. Anyhow, these are all things I'm trying to do. I can't go to sleep without noise, so I watch TV. I'm trying very, very hard to break that habit. I'm trying very hard to read. Right now I'm reading a People magazine per night. I don't have the attention span to read books very well, although I love some. I bought one from Dr. Sanjay Gupta, I love that guy, on how the brain works. Now you'd think that would be a good book to help me understand what I'm going through, but I don't sit still long enough to read a book. So I really, really have to force myself to do that. And speaking of not sitting still, I have this restless leg syndrome. Do you ever have that trouble? Where I go to bed, but if I don't go to sleep, I'm laying there, and then it's like my feet or the bottom of my legs are on crack. Now, I've never done anything like that, but I imagine that's what it feels like. My legs are like this, and they don't hold still. And then I get cold, and I wear socks on my feet 365 days out of the year, whether it's cold or warm. It's never that warm here in Seattle. Anyhow, so my legs don't hold still. So I have this problem where I'm trying to keep myself calm. I have this restless leg syndrome, and I'm clearly more aware of it because I'm more awake. So I started taking magnesium. We'll see if that's going to help me or not. Yeah, look, I'm yawning. You'd think I'm tired and I'd go to sleep. No. Anyhow, so these are all some things I'm trying. Night 7, I really need to go to sleep. I'm reading my little notes about what I wanted to talk about. But when I start writing late at night, I can't read my own writing. So I don't know what I was going to say. I was talking about medication with this lovely friend of mine who's a provider. So he gave me the name of a medication I could try. He says it's really expensive. Sometimes insurance doesn't cover it. Listen, my life is a pain in the ass. I'm willing to put out some money right now to help me get some sleep. So I'm going to try that. I'll let you know if that works or not. Or you can let me know if I look more and more tired each day that I post something here. Yeah, let's see if those things help me. I met with some girlfriends today because I'm trying to keep myself awake and busy all day. So I go meet friends for lunch, I go shopping, I meet another friend for coffee. I don't drink coffee, I only drink decaf tea. This nice friend I was talking to today says, avoid caffeine. I'm like, I've avoided caffeine my whole life, but I sure as hell do right now. So no problem there. And he says, don't drink a bunch of wine because that doesn't help you. And I go, I don't really drink that much. I would say I'm going to drink and help put myself to sleep. I pour like a glass of something and I drink this much. Before COVID, I used to share my drink and give it to whoever I was out with for happy hour, but COVID days, can't be sharing drinks anymore. So when I'm at home and I pour myself something, I never finish it. Such a waste. Anyhow, so yeah, all these little things that I thought would help me go to sleep are not. So the melatonin, useless. I'm not going to try that. I'm going to try this, hopefully get from the doctor tomorrow, this new medication that I've been recommended. I had tried CBD gummies. I had the funniest experience with my girlfriend in California this summer. We wanted to get CBD gummies. And we went to the stores, and the stores were closed. So we went to a girlfriend's house in Los Gatos, this cute little town in San Jose, outside of San Jose. And she says, oh, my friend has some gummy bears. There's some gummies. So we drove to her friend's house at 10 o'clock at night to get these CBD gummies. And then we went home. I was staying with my girlfriend, who was very entertaining. And we got home and we couldn't open the tin. So we were laughing so hard because I wanted those gummies to get to sleep. And my girlfriend wanted them maybe for another reason. Anyhow, we called her son. We're like, how do you open this tin? I said, call your neighbor. I just saw him awaken in his garage, and it's now like midnight. I said, let's call him or drive over there and see if he'll open the tin for us. She says, we're not going to do that. So we called her son. We're like, how are we going to get this tin open? We practically forced it open with a can opener, and we had the most comical time. Even that, however, did not put me to sleep. No, no, and no. What a freaking nightmare. So they said take half of one. So by the end of my experimenting, I think I took two, and they never put me to sleep. But I did get concerned because I was flying from San Jose to Orange County to go see my sister, and I thought, can I take these gummies on a plane? So my girlfriend's son said, probably better for you to put them in your suitcase. Don't carry them in your purse on board. So I've had some very entertaining experiences trying to get to sleep, trying to have CBD gummies. Went to Hawaii. We went to some place, and this guy kept trying to sell me THC, and I said, I'm a nurse. I don't want that. I just really want CBD. So he sold me some elixir, which, as it turned out, tasted like shit. So I drank it down, like, you know how kids take cough syrup, they go, ugh. That's how I felt drinking this stuff, but I was determined I needed to sleep. It didn't really help me so much either, which is quite the bummer. Traveling with other people, like these girlfriends in Hawaii, is a story in and of itself. I'll save that for another night. Anyhow, okay, these are my stories for tonight. I'm looking at myself and I'm feeling quite wide awake. I don't look like somebody who's living off of 2.5 hours sleep. I don't know. I must be having some good under eye cream, and that's probably why I'm wearing glasses. Okay, well, that's my story for tonight, much longer than my first one. I hope somebody sees these stories and it keeps them from starting taking sleeping pills or something else. Or if there's somebody else who's already an idiot like me and taking these sleeping pills and needs to get off of them, I hope you heed my advice and you learn from my experience. And I am very good at seeking out people for information. So I've been asking lots of people for lots of help. So yeah, let's see if any of it works. All right. Good evening to everybody out there. And thank you for listening to my stories, which I'm documenting mostly for myself. If one other person benefits from them, good enough for me. All right.